And welcome to episode 33 of Two Idiots Reading Comics. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Two Idiots RC. Subscribe to YouTube. Go to our Facebook, follow that page, like that page, Two Idiots Reading Comics. And then you can find the podcast anywhere you listen to comics. Listen to podcasts. But yeah, let's get into the show. And welcome to episode 33, Venom Volume 2. Davis.
Yes.
We got to address something right off the top.
And what would that be, man?
Donny Cates loves to cross things over.
Son of a bitch, he does.
Make a lot of event books.
It's honestly a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah, it is. So when we originally decided to make Venom the continuation story for 4 months, we didn't realize there was 2 events in there towards the end.
Yeah.
So while they don't directly, they come after this volume, but Volume 3 ties in with War of the Realms, which we will not be reading.
Because that is a crossover with
A bunch
the way
of other
I've looked
stuff.
at it is multiple other comic groups.
And I think it's also the last Thor storyline before Donny Cates took over.
That makes sense.
And then the Volume 4 of Venom is Absolute Carnage.
Which is
Or it ties in with Absolute Carnage.
Yeah, which is a 5-issue
miniseries.
Yeah, contained into itself, as much as I can tell.
Yeah.
That then has a big deal to do
With Venom.
Donny Cates.
I think Venom,
from then on.
There's like 3 issues of Venom that tie in with that. So we will, I think it'll be April by the time we do that.
Yep.
The Marvel book in April will be Absolute Carnage. And then we'll end the continuous with the tie-in of Venom Absolute Carnage.
Yeah.
Is what that volume is called.
We'll do our best to try to fill you in on Volume 3, where kind of things. Tell me I've already read it out. I haven't read the Carnage part yet.
Yeah, we were trying to catch up. That way we could be caught up for King in Black.
Which is
woohoo. Or if you don't want any of that, we can just stop right here and go to another continuous.
No.
No? Okay.
Let's do Venom.
All right.
We'll do Venom. We'll do Venom through 4, like we said we'll do.
Okay.
And then we'll find something else after that.
Okay.
Because I do the Venom story with Donny Cates is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like the story he's writing right now, literally called crossover.
Yeah.
He loves to do it.
Yeah.
And he's good. I love his stories.
Yes.
But it is a pain in the ass.
And that's just more of a complaint I have amongst comics in general. Like if I were to, I understand money-wise it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do this, but if I were going to have a big event book, I would pause all the other books that correlate with that.
Yeah.
And then in the last issue before it, you go, hey, the story's going to continue in this book. Go read that. And then we'll pick up right as soon as that's over. So it's not super confusing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't stop 2 or 3 books
right
just to tell one story.
But
money-wise.
I'm trying to catch up on the Rebirth Teen Titans.
Uh-huh.
And they just ended it at issue 47.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at issue 20 something, there's the death metal,
Mm-hmm.
which all the Teen Titans were involved in it.
I
had one issue with death metal.
I am waiting for all this metal, death metal, all that stuff. I'm just waiting for an omnibus.
Yeah, because that is going to be...
Looks awesome. Joker who laughs, or Batman who laughs, whatever.
Yeah, but
it's cool.
Holy cow, they are... But everything, literally Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, everybody is involved, and you can't read...
I got into
to try to
it,
keep all that shit straight is...
Yeah, and I got into it way too late to try to do all that.
And that was my complaint with Teen Titans is they had the one issue that was kind of a part of another storyline that they tried to drag you in.
Yeah.
But then the next Teen Titans issue does not refer to it one single bit.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest complaint is if you're going to take the time and make this big, huge story and take a character, multiple characters out of multiple comics, why not then when you come back to this storyline, address it a little bit?
Yeah.
Like go, all right, this is kind of a recap. Yeah.
The after effects of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
like this is the after effects. We lost 3 members because of X, Y, and Z. Like you don't have to say why
Did
you
that
lost
happen?
them. Oh yeah, the Teen Titans are now completely different.
And they just didn't address it at all.
No, it went from Death Metal
What the
to
hell?
then they had like 3 or 4 issues after Death Metal with Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, Kid Flash, and Robin.
Uh-huh.
Then all of a sudden, the team disbanded, and now it's Robin, Kid Flash, and these 4 random fucking kids that I've never heard of.
Oh. Hmm.
And we're just not going to address why the team left, but you've got to go read this whole other story arc to find out why.
Where this is only like 2 panels.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what gets me and kind of aggravates me with comics sometimes is if you're going to do this big jump, why not address it a little bit?
Yeah.
But
that's just more complaints about the industry as a whole. But this, however, is not a crossover. This was a coherent story for the most part.
Yeah, it picks up almost exactly where it left off. You want to give some credit or?
Yeah, I can do that. Obviously written by Donny Cates, pencils by Iban
Coelho?
Coelho, something like that.
Coello.
Yeah. Ryan Stegman, Josh Cassara, inks by Iban again, J.P. Meyer, and Josh again. And then colors by Andres Musa and then Frank Martin. Okay. I just write shittily apparently. And then letters by VC's Clayton Callis.
Yep. And a bunch of cover artists, assistant editors, editor, and executive editors.
Yeah.
Whole shit list of stuff.
Yeah. I think the biggest surprise right when you start this issue is the Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe is back.
Okay, I was gonna ask, well, where does he? I have seen him in other stuff.
That's
recently.
The Secret Wars guy.
Right. Yeah, and I remember him from that. And
he's the one that collided the planets and all that shit.
That whole
yeah,
horrible memories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he is pulling some strings behind the scenes with this.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to a really cool encounter with who he works for later on. That
was that in volume 3 or 4?
4, I believe.
Okay, because I was expecting it when I was skimming through to make notes for this.
I think it might be 3.
Yes.
So you're 3 or 4. It's one of the 2.
Yeah.
But either way, this picks up literally with Eddie Brock laying on the floor next to the furnace.
Yeah.
And a group that identifies themselves as the Anti-Symbiote Task Force and tracking? No, Anti-Symbiote Task Force.
Yeah.
Trying to get a sample of the original symbiote, the dragon.
Yeah, they're trying to... Basically, Reed Richards is trying to get... He thinks there is a key in the symbiote code. They find out in this volume that every symbiote has the DNA...
Leaves a marker behind.
Yeah, leaves a marker behind. Kind of like in Man of Steel where the Codex has the DNA of every Kryptonian ever or whatever.
Yep.
It's kind of like that. And like the spinal fluid of symbiotes, they have their little codex of DNA and stuff like that. And this evil Reed Richards thinks that's the way he can get back to his universe and stuff like that.
Because he has a vial from Flash Gordon, which we find out is dead.
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson is dead.
That's the Flash Gordon.
Which apparently is a big deal in this. And the way they write it up.
Flash Thompson is the Agent Venom.
Right.
When he was like a badass spy and shit like that.
And the way they write this up is that Flash Thompson was the first person the symbiote attached to. Or is it just his favorite?
I think his favorite. I don't know about first. I can't remember. I don't know my big like Venom history.
Yeah, that's
I feel like Eddie Brock was the first, and then Flash Thompson was the symbiote light though.
Because either way, he makes a real big point of this. Mm-hmm. He never felt connected to a symbiote because the symbiote always missed Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
And but he gets to crush the vial of the Codex and becomes Agent Venom.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was sick. Because when Eddie's been found, he went feral for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
His symbiote was literally just running.
Yeah, didn't know what to do.
And then he's been 2 weeks in custody with the ultimate Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And his symbiote has no memories.
No.
Or it's been wiping.
And it's lost his voice.
Yeah,
and
it's lost his voice.
It's been hiding some of the memories from Eddie.
And changing others.
Yeah.
Changing it where Eddie thinks he has a sister, had an uncle die from cancer, makes Eddie think he has cancer, and it's all a lie.
Yeah.
Because the symbiote doesn't want to lose
Eddie. Yeah.
And that was kind of the big fight for this story. And then a major spoiler, major twist at the end.
Yeah. The symbiote walks off on its own.
Well, that too. And the fact that Eddie Brock has a son.
Yeah.
That he didn't conceive naturally. They said that.
I thought he did. But then, like, the wife was like, Eddie went away.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Well, it says that when Ann, the mom, is up to Eddie's father's doorstep, she says, I conceived, but we never did it. We didn't do it traditionally. They said that the symbiotes merged. Like like Eddie and his symbiote merged with her.
Oh, goodness.
And
that would explain why he has like special
there you
powers.
Go.
And
yeah.
Stuff. Okay.
I didn't know if we wanted to spell that.
Oh shit. Sorry.
That's later. Either way,
surely but y'all are reading Kingdom Black too.
But that's kind of what I think, because she never says like we didn't actually hook up, and now
that's true.
But that was pretty wild. But what did you like about this one? I mean, it's kind of like that's kind of the premise.
We get this the backstory of Eddie's big accident, which they teased all in Volume 1
and most of this volume.
Yeah, and it was always like they always just showed a flash of a kid with blonde hair running in front of a car. What you find out is Eddie wasn't that kid. He was the driver, and
drunk.
He was drunk driving,
underage, like 16, 17, like young.
Yeah. And his dad, who was apparently like influential in the town, tried to keep it quiet, and Eddie didn't want to, and his dad became abusive and stuff like that.
Yeah, because Eddie wants to confess. He wants to say he wants to serve guilty.
His time. Yeah,
he wants his punishment, and his father's sitting there beating the shit out of him, telling him, "No, you will say you're innocent."
Yeah,
and then he pays off everybody, and then his father hates him afterwards,
and then bankrupts him and stuff like that.
But yeah, I mean. Then the kind of the thing that brings Eddie to Dylan, the boy, is that their father / grandfather was beating Dylan too.
Yeah.
And it just kind of...
Yeah, that's what, for whatever reason, Eddie was just like, let's just give this one more chance with our dad. I think because Reed told him and like showed him in his memory that he did go like on a rampage, and he showed up at his dad's house.
Yeah. That the symbiote kind of knew, like it was trying to protect him from these horrible memories, yet at the same time trying to tell him, and that's what kind of happens at the end when Reed's trying to rip the symbiote off of him.
Yeah,
is that he figures out that the symbiote's hiding this from him because he doesn't want the symbiote to leave him.
Yeah,
or the symbiote thinks that Edward would leave the symbiote.
But I thought that was very interesting. With like the fact that the symbiote can do that, like I didn't know he could like alter your memories and stuff like that, and then just makes you think of like, well, what else has he changed and stuff like that.
And I think that's a big fear. And what got me was like this whole time the symbiote hasn't talked since the furnace fire.
Yeah.
And the maker refers to him as a watchdog now, and thought it was really cool that he became a living dog.
Yeah.
The chain that Edward held was part of the suit, and like our symbiote and everything would come from that. But then when the maker's trying to rip the suit off of Eddie, it seems to get its memory or a mind back. It starts talking again. It becomes coherent. So
it's like, I'm sorry and stuff.
Did it like heal itself enough, or did the shock and all finally?
I don't know. Maybe
because.
Convenient story writing. I don't know.
Okay, Because that's what got me. Is like he hasn't talked. He has no life.
Yeah,
like Eddie says that he's missing something. Like the mind, the brain, the speech is not there.
Mm-hmm.
He just feels the suit or feels the symbiote.
I don't know. Maybe Reed, because in Volume 1 they talk about how like he can take antidepressants and it makes it go away.
Yeah.
I wonder if Reed had him on some stuff like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
But no, now I'm stuck in my head thinking about like how frustrating the crossovers are and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, because when this ends, you end with literally the symbiote walking, just looks like Venom, and just leaves Eddie and Dylan.
Yeah, he's like
walking down the street.
Yeah, because he's like, they don't need me right now or something like that.
But go ahead and spoil it for next one.
When you get to the War of the Realms,
he has it back. Yeah, like he's fully involved, and
I don't know,
like nothing ever changed. So, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot with this volume.
No, it's more of it was more of like a bridge to
continue on.
It was like a storyline that I guess was going to lead into War of the Realms, and it doesn't really get followed up in Volume 3 of Venom.
The big thing about this one, I mean, just to say it wasn't a lot. I mean, literally give Eddie a son.
Yeah.
Leave his father. Leave the symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, find out who's behind.
You find out that the Ultimate Universe Reed Richards, is still alive and is trying to do something.
Yep. Yeah. I guess this one, it does give a little history of the Codex stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see. So I wrote down a few things. The symbiote leaves behind a cellular implant Codex to share info with the Hive, but because their symbiote hasn't connected with the Hive in so long, it hasn't picked up those old memories, the new speech, the better combat. What else? I guess that's really about it. And then he can absorb, like, kind of what they were foreshadowing is they can absorb the Codex, and he gets a little bit of
like
flashes
the abilities
memories,
and stuff like that.
Which I feel like once you connect to the Hive, you would get everything, and that kind of happens a little while down the road that his symbiote, his symbiote now really has a mind of its own. Like it is coherent, like.
Well, it's like they said
it's like a living being.
It's like in Volume 1 where Rex was like, "Do you not know his name? Do you not know where it's from and stuff like that? How old it is?" He's like, "You don't know anything about your symbiote, even though you pretend to sit here and know everything about it."
Yeah. Oh, and then also, kind of leads into Carnage. The piece of the dragon that was taken from Reed Richards.
Yeah.
He's trying to find out like who stole it, and they show them taking that piece. And it's taken to Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
His body's in like this vessel. And it's this man hands the Codex. It said K. Cassidy on the.
Oh, I didn't even read it. I just saw like the red. I thought it was a Red Skull.
No, but it kind of looks like Red Skull.
Yeah,
but no,
he looked like Red Skull.
But on the front it said K. Cassidy.
Okay.
And Cletus Cassidy. And so they're giving. So I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll read Absolute Carnage.
Yeah.
And then on my own, I'm gonna read the Web of Venom series just because apparently they tie in pretty good.
Okay.
Nothing major that affects the storyline, but just kind of a little peace of mind.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm guessing that's how Carnage becomes Carnage again.
Was Web of Venom wasn't in the back of Volume 3? Isn't that what that was? Where they were like they went to that small town and the church was taken over?
I think so. I think that's
one Web of Venom?
I think so, but like there's 8 that flow with these 30 issues.
Oh shit. Okay.
That they're on Comics they're like $1.80 something a piece.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty cheap. 20 pages or so.
Yeah.
I'm going to read them for my own peace of mind. But yeah, it kind of I guess talks about it a little bit.
Okay. I gotcha.
The first Web of Venom, it talks about Rex and his group in Vietnam. It's called Web of Venom, Venom.
Okay, yeah, I haven't read that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, you got anything else for this?
No, it's a lot of stuff happened in it, but it wasn't like stuff. I guess because I'm already like knuckle deep into. Shouldn't have said that. Knee deep in King in Black. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, and this stuff happened. Like we know that by now.
While we're recording it right now, Venom has already finished issue 30 and is now on like issue 33.
Yeah.
And King in Black is
only
about to come out with its second one in first week of January.
I think so.
So we were way behind compared to where things have escalated to now.
Yeah.
So,
but we will do our best to catch up and try to keep it all together for y'all.
Yeah.
So.
But again, great Venom arc. Wish it would have flown a little bit better with the next one.
Yeah.
But we will get into that next month.
Yes.
But next week is Spawn.
Spawn Volume 1.
Yeah, it's an Origins collection by Image Comics.
Yes.
And hope y'all join us. And we can talk about it. And get anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All righty.
See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.